And welcome to the Gift and Home channel. The next two parts are going to be focused on the operating expenses of a typical gift store. These are percentages that are absolutely critical to the operation of your business. And we have used an example behind me of our particular three retail stores as averages. This is really what has occurred in our operation, and I want to do it in two parts because I want to emphasize some of the minor expenses, and then I want to emphasize some of the major expenses and where I think you need to really focus your efforts to make all of this work. In the previous module, I talked about the cost of goods and operating expenses at 43%. This is what I'm referring to. And so let's start at the top and see what we can do. Again, we'll focus on the smaller expenses and then we'll get into the larger expenses. Some of the things that didn't exist over time were things like bank card charges. And even telephone was minor. Utilities have increased. Property taxes have increased. Our goal in our operation many years ago was to try and keep most expenses down to 1% or less. Well, reality has set in and it's not possible. So we still need to go out and try and do what we can to keep things down. But bank card charges, for example, on this chart are 1.8%. Bank card charges, even since I have produced this information, are probably creeping up around the country with Visa, MasterCharge, American Express. You need to go out, you need to focus with your local bank, your Merchants Association, and see if it's possible to keep this under 2%, would be my guess. And we work really hard to do that. Depreciation, I explained earlier. You continue to reinvest in your business, and when you reinvest, you will have depreciation naturally. Depending on what you spend, your depreciation will go up and down. An accountant and a bank will refer to depreciation as a good expense. It's something that you've invested in, and they will not include that in the analysis of your business when you go to the bank. If your depreciation is $15,000, they technically will add it back into the bottom line, knowing that it's an investment in your business. Meals and entertainment, trade shows, things that you would do that are part of operating is all here. Employee insurance, if you offer it, or for yourself. Again, health insurance was minute 10 or 15 years ago. If you offer a plan, be careful. It's very, very expensive, and you need to shop around. And in our scenario, it's 1% of all operating expenses. Property and liability, you must have it. You can package it. There are a lot of good suppliers of property and liability insurance out there. Shop it every year. Don't back off. Don't hesitate to go back to your friend or your local company and say, you know, I really need to take a look at it. These rates go up and down on an annual basis. So remember to mark your calendar to go back and look at that. I'll talk about rent in a bit. Utilities, in this particular store you're in, years ago we started with 150 watt bulbs. We've gone to 125, we've gone to 95, we've gone to 75. Today they build lights and lighting to be able to handle it properly. It cuts down on your heat, cuts down on your utility bills. That's the only way you're going to keep your utilities in the range of 1.5%. Maintenance and repairs fluctuates tremendously, only because if you're in a strip center, which we are here today, there is a maintenance fee, but it's minimal to keep the outdoor parking lots clear in the winter time and keep the lawn mowed. If you're in a mall, this could creep up to as much as 6 to 7%. Be very, very careful. Generally, malls don't cap these things, and this expense can get away from you. So you can't, it's difficult to monitor the landlord, but keep your eye on it. And before you sign a long lease, see if you can have this capped in your process. Supplies, your bags, your boxes. If your statement and your direction in your store is a gift wrap package, keep in mind that a box today could cost you $0.25. The gift wrap can cost you another 3 or 4 cents. The ribbon can cost you 2 or 3 cents. All of this needs to be reflected in your particular supplies. It could go up if you feel that's your image. In our store, we sell gift wrap. Why would I want to make a statement out of wrapping a package for someone when I sell it? I do it, but I think we have to keep that in mind. And your property taxes, of course, depending on where you are, is what it's all about. So for this segment, we've touched on some of the smaller expenses, and for our part 2, we will touch on the larger expenses. Thank you.